All right, hey guys, welcome back to another Summers Out podcast episode. I'm here with.
Yeah, it's Jordan. How's it guys going? How's it going?
It's been tough. It's been a long winter semester. We weren't able to film that much, but Jordan, how'd your winter semester go?
Dude, that was it was a bit of a roller coaster there. Like there was a lot of ups and downs. I'm happy I'm done now, obviously, but yeah, that winter semester was no joke compared to the fall semester. A lot different. How was it for you?
Yeah, honestly, it was pretty rough. Having genetics, biochem, bioethics was nice. It was a nice balance. And then I took like biophysics as an elective, which was calm,
Mm-hmm.
and Psych 1102. But I didn't realize how much of a demon biochem and genetics were going to be as courses. Like,
Yeah.
what did you think of those courses?
No, yeah. Oh my God, genetics. That was a doozy, man. I had to study. I think I studied 3 weeks in advance just to try and get everything down because the last half of the course was that was a lot of content. I won't lie. For only 100 multiple choice, trying to know everything was a doozy. I ended up doing well in the course. We did really good. So it wasn't like anything bad, but compared to my other courses where I only had to study like max like a week, maybe a week and a half extra to prepare for, it was a bit of a doozy. And then biochem, that's just another monster of it in itself. Biochem is a really hard course if you don't put in the time to work on it. So, I mean, you also said it was a doozy. Like
Yeah,
it was pretty hard. It was pretty hard, but we got through.
yeah. I definitely recommend to all those biomed kids or whoever has to take biochem. You just got to read between the lines.
Yeah.
I'd recommend even reading the textbook because sometimes maybe your profs don't mention enough and they ask for detailed questions on the exam. You just got to know what you're doing. And for genetics, you just got to make those flashcards. You just got to memorize, dedicate hours. Like it's all about
Mm-hmm.
timing. So yeah,
No,
I
that.
mean Jordan and I will be joining forces in biochem this summer. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we
Mm-hmm.
come out with flashing lights and stuff. You
Yeah.
know,
No, yeah.
yeah,
Backend's gonna be fun this summer.
yeah,
You just gotta fully lock in. At least it's just the one course you gotta lock in this time. Whereas, like throughout like the winter semester or fall semester, you gotta take like quite a bit of time. With your other courses and your other extracurriculars you gotta do. So,
hmm
but yeah, the
yeah,
genetics. Your tips about like making your flashcards like through brute force. I'm telling you guys, like again, like 3 weeks of just imagine like 4,000 flashcards through for 3 weeks, just brute force, trying to memorize everything. Cause like I know our class, it was a bit different than the other genetics class. Some genetic classes they have like word problems and stuff that you have to figure out, or like more writing assignment. But ours was pure multiple
mm,
choice, so ours was just pure memory. Just if you knew it, you
yeah,
knew. If you didn't, you didn't. It's just
yeah.
so,
But yeah, that's the bulk of it. It was just straight up work. That's pretty
yes,
much all it was.
it's straight up work.
And it's a huge segue because this summer, Jordan and I are both taking the MCAT. We already
Mm-hmm.
started studying over more than a week ish.
Yeah.
So we've been pretty invested in it. So, Jordan, how you feeling? Going in, just starting, like thoughts, any recommendations for anyone who's taking it as well?
No, yeah. I feel like the MCAT, and even in Canada, I mean, it's the same test as it is in the States, but like with Canadian medical schools having more focus on cars, it is a bit different than like what you see typical studying methods on like YouTube and such. Like, I understand, like, trying to get an all rounded score is also very good, but mainly focusing on cars to where you have to do cars maybe an extra hour every day than what other typical people would do. I know some typical people only do have like a dedicated cars day, whereas like for more Canadian students, the people I've talked to, they have more so doing cars every single day, and then focusing on the other sciences and stuff. So it's a bit difficult, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it. How's it going for you?
It's going. I genuinely like try to find a schedule online, but then I realize like some of these content review sessions are like 6 weeks or like 7 weeks, and I'm like, there's no way you're reviewing for that long and you're limiting your practice by so much. So I kind of like develop my own schedule that I try to go by because I really want to try to finish content review because I've heard from a lot of people if you finish content review earlier and make more time for practice questions, it'll really help in the long run. And like you said about cars, like I've heard a lot of people like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing like maybe like one cars passage a day. You should be trying to do like an hour, like you said, because Canadian pre-meds, Canadian med schools, some of them like McMaster or like UBC, like you need like at least like a 128 plus to be like even considered
Mm-hmm.
in the car section. Whereas your whole well-rounded score, I think it's only UBC that really cares about that, but you need to check on that. But it's really intensive, and cars is not something you can do like some people maybe naturally give that at it.
Yeah,
Like I
some
don't
people
know,
comes
but
natural.
like honestly, for me, it's hard. I don't know. When I first started, I was scoring like 40s, like 60s, and now I'm scoring like consistently like 80s, 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 with some 60s here and there. No 100s yet. Yeah,
No, yeah,
but
no, none yet, not yet. But it's only been like a week or so. So,
that's true.
I mean,
Yeah,
I haven't studied like a lot, but again, like I'm around the 60-80 range. Like out of 5 questions, getting 3 to 4 right, depending on the type of passage. Obviously, some
yeah.
passages are easier than others, but like yeah, I've gotten probably one 5 out of 5. But like
Cool.
that passage it wasn't that crazy. It was a Jack Weston passage, so it wasn't too crazy. But
Yeah,
yeah, I got lucky, you could say.
and I think one of the big things is timing.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you may be. I feel like definitely, you should start off by doing passages with no timing. So, kind of just going at it, understanding the passage, developing strategies. Like for me, I don't know. Like when I first started off, I started highlighting here and there, but then I realized, what am I even highlighting? Like it's just like I'm just highlighting words. Like I look, I go back to answer the question. I look at my highlighter. Like they don't even help me. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I decided to start like writing points down, like here and there, like because I think in the MCAT you'll be given like a whiteboard or something, like something
Yeah,
to write
yeah.
on. So like writing those key points and what the author is trying to say, those are the kind of like the most important things that you should focus on and what you should be writing. Like each paragraph, like intro paragraph says, oh, the author states this. Second example, second paragraph are just examples, stuff like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that really helped me increase my score a little bit, but obviously like it's all practice.
No, yeah.
And over time, like you'll start turning on the timer. Like I know Jack Weston has a timer in the top right, or even U World Cars has a built-in timer, which is like 8 minutes, which is like maybe a little too
Yeah.
short because you should be averaging around 9 minutes a passage. But it's you just gotta pace yourself, but make sure you're doing that practice every day.
Of course, yeah. Practice every day. Also, a quick tip for people who wants to start out learning cars and find it like very difficult, like trying to get 2 out of 10, or it's hard to try and understand like what the passage is saying or try and find key points. I found well, I got put onto this, but they told me to go onto YouTube, and people who take like are trying to become lawyers understand what the LSAT is. It's typically somewhat like the MCAT, but for like lawyers and such. That's what my understanding is. And if you search up, they have a playlist on LSAT Labs called Reading Comprehension, and they give you ways to find different types of frameworks of how to structure your type of videos. I mean, videos. Structure your type of topics that is being asked of you in the questions. And they go through practice passages giving you what the author's intent is, what the topic is. There's a bunch of different frameworks, and that's what I've used to help try and practice, trying to identify what the author is trying to give off based off the framework that is being presented in the passage. That's one tip I can give to you guys if you have trouble with cars. But yeah, what you said earlier about like trying to practice, not focusing on timing at the start, exactly what I'm doing. Like I'm saying, I probably average around like 12 minutes currently with like getting like 80s. Like obviously I just started, so just trying to get better at it. But yeah, I'd say practice without timer, try and get consistently to when you're getting perfect, and then you start lowering the timer so you can get better at it, and then you build endurance through it.
Yeah, cars is a beast. So take that time, do what you need to do. That's pretty much it.
I mean, how are you studying for the other sciences, would you say?
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good question. Well, right now it's been the Kaplan books. Like I feel like they've been kind of the best resource for content review. And as I said before, like I didn't like I initially I was gonna find a schedule that worked for me, but the content reviews they just were just way too long for me. So I kind of made my own schedules, and I kind of match each subject with each other. So I try to put like biochem with biology, or like orgo with gen chem, and like I put phys math and psychology together just because that day might be a little less, you know, tiresome for me, because psych math is I mean sorry, physics math is obviously like a beast on its
Yeah.
own, but then psych soc is a little less of a beast. But you know, this year actually I'm pretty sure the MCAT implemented a different way of testing the psychology sociology section, because instead of doing a memorization based application of it, they're doing a more intensive, like analytical approach as to how you apply your knowledge for psych soc. So that's kind of another thing that I'm a little worried about, but it's definitely a jump. So having that day is kind of like less scary day. But I definitely do think matching up those two, like the sciences in the same theme with each other, helps because they complement each other very well. Like I know I was just doing Gen Chem and Orgo on Friday, and I noticed that they're actually teaching the same subject. So it's like when you go through Gen Chem, what was it? Let me think. Let me think. I think it might have been hybridization or something in Gen Chem. They literally, like, I was doing that chapter, finished both the chapters, and then I go to Orgo and it's the exact same thing. So I'm like, oh wait, this is actually kind of convenient. It's like recalling the same thing. I don't know. How about you, Jordan? How have you been studying?
No, you have a very similar method to how I'm doing with the Kaplan books. What I also do is typically like there's this one guy on YouTube. His name's Yusuf A Hassan on YouTube. Yusuf Hassan. So what I typically do, he has like all his chapters of the hard sciences. He got like 132 on all those hard sciences like chem, phys, biochem. So what I typically do is I would watch like his chapter video. Maybe it's like an hour, 2 hour lecture. Put it 1.5 speed. Brains kind of cooked. So you got to put it like 1.5 speed just to go over like quick notes and knowing over, and then you go speed run through the Kaplan book to see anything that was missed, and then I go straight to my Anki cards to understand and put into my head what is actually being focused on within this chapter, and then you do more real world questions to help solidify that you actually understand the knowledge and can apply it to some questions. And right now, since I'm in like the content review phase, I'm not doing like that crazy hard UWorld like 60 block question blocks or anything. I'm just doing quick like 10, 25 questions to understand, like I know what I'm talking, know what I'm learning, and understand the content that's being asked for that chapter. But I also like your
Oh,
I
that's
like what you're doing with the multiple days. Multiple subjects per day. That also helps get through things like in a more timely fashion instead of like you said, the 6 week, 7 week content review where typically like if you're trying to, like for us currently, I don't know for you, but for us currently we're trying to do like a 3 month schedule type of thing, or like 3 to 3.5 months, whereas like others maybe that might work for like a 6 month type of schedule, a 6 week content review, but yeah, we don't really have the time for that, so trying to,
Yeah, the I definitely think UWorld is a great resource. Like I remember I started doing Jack Weston cars, and I thought, this isn't like the worst thing in the world. Like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Obviously, I could do better. Then I started doing UWorld cars because I was like, why not test it out? Wow, the I
yeah.
didn't. Some of the passages that don't even make sense to me, and it's not because like I'm stupid or anything, but it's because they use like very particular language that is like very difficult to understand, but it's very analytical in the sense that it makes you understand the passage a little better. And they use this type of language which is very similar to the MCAT, I'm sure. So that's why it's a little harder. And I started doing that, but then I started dropping like 40s, 20s. I don't think I've gotten above a 40 yet because I've been doing timed. So I think, obviously, got to go back to the approach: no timed and then timed. And then obviously expand your horizons and definitely use your AAMC resources to the last. You don't want to do it earlier on because that's considered like the gold standard of MCAT material.
Of
So,
course, of course. You never use
yeah.
your AAMC too early because you're just putting it to waste. You should try and practice the most similar to what the test is right before like the test or near the end, so you
Yeah.
know what the test might feel like, what it might look like, and also be able to have enough stamina to practice for when it comes to test day. So yeah, I would prioritize U World at the start. You're doing your content review phase, maybe just doing Kaplan, doing your Anki, and then going to your U World, doing your quick U World questions. Then somewhere like around like a month after, you're doing like more U World questions, mainly U World focused, and then I would say around 2.5 or like 2.25 you're switching over to like some AAMC type of things. That's what I would
Yeah,
say you do.
that's good. Yeah, well, that's the bulk of our summer.
Are you doing
It's
anything extra for the summer or not really?
I mean, other than hosting the podcast, not much.
Yeah.
I've been still doing research at the Heart
Mm-hmm.
Institute, still going on. Kind of been going a lot more often, just because there are some big summer commitments. But how about you?
No, yeah, I've actually started to chill out this summer. So, like this past semester, I finished my research. Like I'm still in it. Like I still do like some stuff, like trying to submit the and publish. Got everything ready. Just waiting off for the other co-authors to do a quick review, and then gonna send out publishing, and then doing some extra work for them, because my PA has some extra work. So I was like, I might help out here and there, but more so take a more relaxed approach this summer to focus on MCAT, also doing like my extracurriculars like volunteering. I also do like tutoring, like paid tutoring online. So more so like
Nice.
keeping it calm so I still have a little steady income, but I gotta focus on this MCAT, man.
Yeah,
It's a big
and
doozy.
I think at least a tip for a lot of people is what I'm seeing right now is that a lot of people are going on vacation before the MCAT starts. Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, I know that I guess since like at least for us, our last day of exams was considered the 29th,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Jordan started studying on the 3rd,
Yeah,
right?
like May
You
of
started
third,
studying on
May
May
third.
3rd, and I started studying on May 4th. So it's obviously not a lot of time. Like that's like 5 days. I mean 4 days. Jordan had 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
I had 5 days. I mean, also depends on when your final exams in. But all I'm saying is like you, it's you may think that you're wasting or like not wasting. You may think that you need a break and you need to like chill out for like a week or two. Like I know some people who started mid May. That's fine,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is like you're also missing out a lot of the time to pursue more practice questions later on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all just about time management. Like I think Jordan and I can both agree that content review phase should be maybe like less than a month to a month. Like 3 to 4 weeks is like optimal.
Yeah.
And so if your date, like I know most people are picking mid to late August. So, if you're going on vacation before, it's highly like not recommended because you're losing a lot of time before your exam. And I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of people also leave time after the MCAT. Like maybe they do like early to mid to late August because they have that like last 2 weeks to go on vacation before the school starts.
True.
But I highly recommend. I don't know if Jordan is the same, but I'm sure he's the same. But I highly recommend students like right after finish exams, maybe take a couple days off, like 2 3 days. Just kind of sit off. Don't even look at your computer. Don't look at anything. Just go sleep. Just go for a walk. Enjoy the summer weather, and
Mm-hmm.
then dial back in. So you have the same mindset. Like, what do you think, Jordan?
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. I would say like it was a bit easier for me, obviously, with the 4 days, because my last exam ended actually very early, so I only had exams till like the 22nd. So I was already able to take like a week off before I was able to go right into it. But I would suggest like once you're finished your exams, going on vacation. I see why people do it, like especially if you had a very stressful semester. But it also depends when you're taking your MCAT. Like some people, if you're taking it like in August, 3 months flies by like pretty quickly once you get into the bulk of things. Like even doing like this content review, like trying to get through like a certain amount of chapters a day. Like I personally try and get through 3 chapters a day for the subject. But like even trying to get through that, it takes a lot of time, and your day goes by a lot really quickly. And then piling that on for 3 months, it can fly by instantly. And then when you get time to practice right before your exam date, you're like, wait, I don't feel fully prepared, or I don't feel like I've done enough questions, and that could be because you took the extra 2 3 weeks of vacation off. Now, I'm not gonna be mad at you if you took your 3 weeks of vacation off, because people take vacation for different reasons, you know. But I do also support what you said, Namir, with like it can come back to bite you in the butt if you take too long. And also remember, once you take your vacation off, like it's not gonna be easy to just go straight into your MCAT studying because you're still gonna have like your relaxed brain on once you're coming back from the flight. Maybe you might have some jet lag depending on where you came from. So it is a bit difficult trying to ease back into like the hardcore studying method. But I mean, to each his own. To each his own.
Yeah. And that just, I think that segues a little bit into this podcast episode. I know we talked a lot about school and MCAT, but, since Jordan and I are obviously like, we have similar schedules, but, we're not free. We're not free all the time. And sometimes our things don't clash well together. So
Mm-hmm.
we decided to try something new just for the summer. Since we're both probably going to be busy doing our own thing, to kind of interview different people and film our own podcast episodes for now, because obviously, like, Jordan meets so many new people in volunteering. I meet so many people in research. He meets so many people, working, paid tutoring, all the stuff he's doing over the summer. And, it's kind of hard to find a time that works for both of us to come meet in person and film the episode and get the guest star here
Yeah.
too. So, we just decided, we'll try something new. And hopefully, once we get back together, we'll form something great. Like optic chiasm. Optic chiasm for the eyes, bro.
Oh, this guy's throwing out his knowledge out there. No, I like it. I
Yeah,
like it. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. For the viewers listening, like, we are very busy. Like he said, he's doing research and doing this MCAT. I'm doing like a couple jobs and this MCAT, so it is very difficult to find time where we're both available, free, completely undivided attention, and trying to be able to link up and do a podcast. So we have decided to do the idea, like he said, with some podcast episodes it might just be him and his guest that he's brought on, or some episodes it might be me and my guest that I brought on, and we're trying to like get different people in the field. So we'll see trying to get a couple obscure but also related like field topics, some people that you would not expect to see on this podcast trying to come on. So I hope you guys will be excited, hopefully.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. At least because I know that when we were trying to film with like specific guest stars, like even during the semester, it was hard to get them on board because
Exactly.
we had different schedules, they had different schedules. So maybe this will like make it a little more open, and so we can get more guest stars and then kind of widen our bases a little bit. And we can obviously talk to more people that we haven't talked to, like specific fields and stuff. Like I know we've talked to kin majors, we talked to all these other people,
Yeah,
tech majors,
engineers.
but yeah, engineers. We want to broaden our horizons, and I think this summer, every now and then, we'll try to film an episode separately, and then yeah, it should be
Yeah,
good.
it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm excited. I'm excited. I got a few
Yeah,
guests in
me too.
mind, you know,
Yeah,
and I hopefully people will reach out to them after and find out if maybe they want to do that path.
yeah,
Very similar. But all right, guys. I think that's gonna be the end of the pod today. Do you have any last words on there? Say anything?
I guess for anyone who's planning to take the MCAT next year, just do your research, ask all your upper years. They know what's best, they know what to improve on, and that's honestly the best advice I can give you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
fully coincide with that. All right, guys. See you next time. See
Peace
ya.
out.